Yo, what you saying? I am back again. Now, I want to talk about in this video something which is like a mindset that I fell into, and I want to talk about it here because it's something that I also see a lot of people falling into with this whole thing of improving yourself. And it's not really, I don't think it's beneficial for the majority of people, especially younger people, which is this whole idea of getting on monk mode. Monk mode is essentially this thing, it's just this period of really deep focus on basically just yourself or business or whatever it may be. And that's basically it. You don't really have time for anything else. No family, no friends, no girls, none of that bullshit. No extracurricular activities, nothing. It's just really you focusing on yourself. You get into a routine, you do productive things pretty much 24/7, and that's kind of it. And the thing is, the whole concept of monk mode is actually, it's really effective if you want to succeed in certain areas of your life. If you're like really honing in on like a business and you just want to go all in on that and it's really purposeful, that's monk mode is going to benefit you. And this is the thing with monk mode. I'm not here to tell you that monk mode is a bad thing per se, because it does really work. In certain times in your life, it might be very beneficial. Like you might see a lot of YouTubers nowadays doing monk mode and promoting it, because that's the periods where they've made the most growth money-wise, business-wise, it seems to be. And that just, it's very attractive to see that, because it's like, oh, if I just go on this and just cut out everything and I just focus on this one thing, I can really succeed in this thing. And yeah, you will if you really hone in on it. But I think the trap that a lot of people fall into, myself included, was basically using it not really as a productive tool, more as a cope for just being lonely and introverted and not wanting to go out and socialize. And it's kind of like an ego boost for you, because as someone who didn't really go out much and wanted to improve, I was kind of distancing myself from a lot of socializing, because most of my social experiences were with people that I didn't really see myself fitting in with anymore. My mindset on this has changed quite a lot, which I'll go on to in a second. But, when I first kind of started improving myself, I wanted to basically just like, I really felt like locking myself away and just really working on myself was a good idea. And for me, it just wasn't, because I've realized now there's a lot of areas of my life that I actually want to develop and improve on and go forward in, that don't align with this whole idea of monk mode and just focusing on yourself. So, for example, like, I'll just tell you, I basically went to university last year. I was there for 6 weeks before I dropped out. Now, my mindset during this whole time was like, okay, I'm gonna basically not really go to lectures if I can avoid them. I'm not gonna socialize. I'm not gonna go out drinking. I'm not gonna be a fucking degenerate. All this fucking shit. And I'm just gonna focus on this. I'm gonna be on a routine, and I'm gonna build a massive YouTube channel. I'm gonna get loads of followers. I'm gonna start making money online, coaching, all this stuff. And the intention was do that while I'm there, and then drop out and go do my own thing after that with the money I've made. Now, that sounds like a pretty good idea, right? Like, yeah, go because your parents want you to go, and then just work on stuff while you're there, and then drop out when you've made the money. Unfortunately for me, I kind of realised when I was there, one, I didn't want to be there, because I had no reason to be there. Two, I also realised that I didn't actually want to continue this whole, like, trying to make money desperately kind of thing. And so I was in a situation where I was like, okay, fuck, what do I even do now? So I decided to leave, because I didn't like the university, to be honest with you. The course was a terrible choice. I just shouldn't have chosen it. I should have never gone. Looking back, I should just not have gone. But I did. I've learned from it. But here's the thing. This year, my intention is to go back to university. A different university, a different course, of course. Like, I don't regret leaving. But my mindset now is very different. And I've realised that personally for me, I want to improve that social area of my life a lot more. I want to improve my social skills. I want to go out and have experiences and do more social things. That's what I want personally. And now, the thing is, there might be people watching this, you might say, oh, that's cope. Oh, but uni's full of, like, people who drink and do all this stuff, and it's like, you're going to surround yourself and become, like, a weirdo. Yeah, okay. But, like, I have that mindfulness now where I can see that. And now I'm going to choose for myself, like, what I think is suitable for me to do. This doesn't mean I'm going to stop improving. This doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing good habits. Like, I'm not going to be, like, just a complete normie when I'm at university. Like, I will be doing things to improve myself and develop myself. Mostly on the social side, though. That's just how it's going to be. A lot of people might disagree with that. And this is kind of why I'm making this video, because a lot of people seem to villainize wanting to do certain things outside of the norm of like self-improvement, which seems now to just be monk mode, grind, focus on yourself. If you want to do anything that doesn't fit this image of self-improvement, you're just like a weirdo and you're an outcast. And I made the video about this literally up like yesterday when I'm recording this. That's what self-improvement's kind of become. And for a long time, it felt like this narrative of monk mode and really just focus on yourself was being pushed. But at the end of the day, at least for me, what I was using it as, and I think a lot of people are going to be using it as, especially young people who haven't really had many life experiences and haven't really done much in the real world, is they're going to be so focused on this monk mode, and they're going to use it as this thing of like, oh wait, I can just do this, pretend that I'm being productive, and still feel like I'm working towards something. Great. And they go forward with this, but they soon realize like, oh wait, but I can't talk to anyone. I have no social skills. I have no real world skills. I'm just not. I have nothing to talk about. Especially when you see it amongst like self-improvement YouTubers. I don't like see myself as a self-improvement YouTuber because I'm not coming on here telling you this is what you have to do. This is how you have to live your life. I'm just telling you my experiences and giving you lessons which might change your mindset. Hopefully, and like. You see a lot of these younger guys, especially, who they haven't done anything real. They've not done anything, and then they're going on monk mode, and they want to talk about like life and give advice, but they haven't done anything. And monk mode can be very dangerous, especially for that scenario. But also, I think the main point I'm trying to make is that monk mode can be used as a massive cope for your introversion, just as a reason to just think you're being productive and focusing on yourself when you're just kind of not. Like, of course you're doing productive things, you have this routine, but you're not going out and doing anything real. And this is why and the thing is, these are the same people who say we should we need to bring back community, we need to bring back like hard work and friendships and stuff. But you're isolating yourself from the real world, you're not making any real change. And you're not really benefiting the world in any way by being on a monk mode. Like, unless you're working really hard on a business which you're pursuing, it's really purposeful, that's different. And monk mode, again, is beneficial in certain periods of your life. I'm not saying it's not a good thing, but myself included in this, a lot of people seem to be using it just as a cope, to just isolate themselves from the world and not do anything, and not actually develop real world skills, and not develop community, and not develop social skills, because all they do is just sit at home all day thinking they're being productive, but you're really not. Like, you are working on stuff, but what are you actually achieving beyond just okay, you're working on this thing, but like, what else are you doing? Because especially when you're younger, you need to go out and actually do things. You need to you want to go out and actually develop skills, right? You don't just want to be locked away and have nothing to talk about. Oh yeah, since I was like 14, I literally just worked on a business and that was it. Like, that's kind of a sad life in my opinion. Now, listen, if that's for you, great. But I think a lot of people can relate to what I'm saying here in terms of, I do believe this whole thing of just shutting yourself off from the world and just focusing on this one thing, especially when you haven't really had much life that you've lived prior to that. You look at certain people who, they've gone into like a monk mode period, but before that, they had a lot of real world experiences. They had a lot of things they did in real life. And when they went onto that monk mode, they at least knew like, oh yeah, well, at least I've done these things. At least now I know I've had that time. And now I can just hone in on this. Great. But a lot of people just hone in on it before they've done anything. And they have no life beyond that. And they have no life beyond being on monk mode and being on self-improvement. That it becomes cope for you not actually developing real skills and going out into the world and actually, meeting new people and making friends and developing community and spending time with family and things are actually important. Now, I think there should be a balance. I don't think you should go, unless it's really purposeful and it's really the most beneficial thing for you to do right now, fine, go on monk mode. But I don't think you should, outside of that, I think you should have that balance of, yeah, I'm going to work hard on things, but I'm going to spend time doing social things. I'm going to go out and spend time with friends and family and all this stuff, because that is very beneficial. Go out and speak to new people. That's going to benefit you. Developing real world skills, going out and actually doing things is going to benefit you long term, really, no matter what. And just isolating yourself away from that completely, when you haven't even developed, you haven't even really got any development in those real world areas to begin with, and then you put yourself on like a monk mode, that's just not a good idea in my opinion. And it's something that I wish I heard sooner, because for a long time I was in this whole self-improvement monk mode mindset where I just wasn't going out and meeting anyone, doing anything social. and just not doing anything in the real world. I was just in my room, in my accommodation dorm, just working on stuff, and then I'd go for a walk like once a day, and that was it. And it was quite a sad existence because I wasn't doing anything. And I realized for me, myself, I'm quite young. I want to go out and have those experiences, and I shouldn't feel ashamed to do so. I'm not constrained by this whole like self-improvement image now, that I'm not guilty. I don't feel guilty when I want to do certain things. Like, of course I know when things are bad for me. Like, I'm not a fucking dumbass. Like, I know there's a line, but I know that for me personally, that's what I want to pursue. I'm not going to constrain myself to this whole entrepreneurship mindset that a lot of people are stuck in just because I've been told, oh, you have to make money, the Matrix is going to attack. Like, I'm beyond that now. And I see that, and I'm doing what authentically I want to do. I'm following my own path. People might not agree with me, but again, it's my own path. And so the opinions of others, okay, like you're a 15-year-old, oh, I'm on monk mode. Like, what do you have to tell me about life, though? You know what I mean? And so I really do think that if you're constrained by this whole thing of monk mode, you've got to realize, like, is it actually benefiting you and your life and what you're doing going forward? Or are you just using it as a cope because you're unwilling to actually go out and do new things and actually try new things and socialize and meet new people and all this stuff and go out into the real world and make something happen? Are you just coping? Because I think for a lot of people, myself included, I think you might be. I was. That's why I'm making this video. But yeah, that's just the message I want to convey. Of course, you're open to disagree or whatever in the comments. Go down below, talk about that. I have a lot of people in my comments like giving different opinions nowadays, and that's great because I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm not going to say I disagree with you. I'm just here to give my point of view, right? You might agree, you might disagree, but that's okay, you know? I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to come on camera and try and convince you that what I'm saying is the absolute fucking truth with no fucking backup, all right? So, yeah, boys, but I will leave it there, and I hope that you got some value from this video. Maybe it changed your mindset. So if it did, I hope it feels good to allow people to have a different perspective, because I feel like, especially the whole self-improvement space, it is very constrained now, and it feels like there's not really much room for different perspectives outside of these massive like communities and stuff. That's what I want to do. I just want to present different perspectives. So yeah, until the next one though, boys, stay focused.